What is up, Nickel City Mafia? What is up, Bills Mafia? The Bills take down the divisional opponent, the Ravens, and move on to the AFC Championship game next week. Just like Chad's saying out there in the chat already, welcome to the Arrowhead Invitational. But we're going to talk a lot about that later. We got to get into this talk here. Joining me tonight is Mr. Brett McDurphy and also Sean Kula. And if Jake gets back from the game in a short amount of time, he's really only like 5 minutes from the stadium, but he was there supporting his Bills, watching it all, and hopefully he can join us and share some insights from what was happening there. But I'll throw it to you, Sir Sean. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Talk to me, man. Talk to me about the game.
Man, Final Four. We're back in the championship against a team we lost to in the championship last time, and we're a much better team than we were 4 years ago when we lost to them by a blowout. So this will not be easy, but just to have the opportunity, if you're not looking at it from talent to talent, you have a 50% chance to go to the Super Bowl. You got two teams left in your conference. You want to be that one. And I love how even Josh mentioned after the game, yeah, all we've been hearing is that we don't have talent, we're too small, we're not good enough to do this, and now we're in the championship. So these guys know how important it is to continue to play together, and they're a special team. I've noticed throughout the whole year, I'm like, wow, this team over exceeded my expectation for first year with new group, and they just seem different. They seem super special, and even if they don't win next week, they're still a special group, and I would love to see this group specifically get to the big dance. But man, this defense came to play. Yeah, they gave up 25 points, but three or four turnovers and just stopped the run very well in the first half. They got beat on that one drive, but other than that, they did really, really outstanding. Saw a lot of three linebacker sets. Saw some five people at the line of scrimmage to try to screw things up. They had all their guys crunched in instead of spaced out a little bit to make it harder for the Ravens offensive line to get people pushed out of the zone. And yeah, man, this offense too, no turnovers, offensive line dominated. Josh didn't throw too much, but 16 for 22, very efficient, took care of the football, ran the ball in twice. I mean, perfect game, except for, I felt the coaching was playing not to lose once we were up 21-10. And we were, once they were stopping the run, we just kept doing it anyway. We didn't change anything up. And luckily, we made plays when we needed to, but really happy of the outcome, obviously.
Yeah, love that. Brett, I mean, we talked about it. Are they going to come out with three linebackers? And like we all said, if they do it, let's do it early. Show them something. Get a couple key stops early.
Yeah.
Now, they get a little right off the bat, just like Denver. They go down and score quickly. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be a long day. They make adjustments, and they go into halftime with a nice lead. But I want to say first of all, sorry, Ravens fans. I have a son who's a Ravens fan, and he's brokenhearted. So, tough fought game. And some of the Ravens guys in my group chat were saying, the better team didn't win. Look at this. I said on Wednesday, you guys know this. The Bills are the most opportunistic. They are in turnover differential. It's part of the game. Hold on to the ball, stay clean. You didn't see Josh Allen throw an interception. You didn't see the Bills drop the ball or fumble the ball at all. Was there anything? Did I miss that? There was none, right? No.
Not one drop, not one turnover.
Not one drop, not one fumble. It's part of the game. If you're going to play in a game like this in the weather, you got to hold on to the ball. So I don't take that. I feel like it's part of the game. It's what the Bills have been doing all year long. So congratulations to that defense. But Brett, coming out in that three linebacker set was huge, right?
Absolutely, it was. And the other thing about this is taking care of the home turf. That's the biggest thing. Is the Bills end up going 10-0 this season at home, which is an incredible mark. And you defend your turf, which is huge. The Bills Mafia came out very loud and proud. I know that Jake said that the energy inside the stadium was incredible. So I only imagine it was 100 times louder than it was when we heard it on TV. But this game was so huge for the Buffalo Bills to get a win against a team that, you have to beat the best. And I said it to a couple of friends of mine. I said, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And this is the situation that we were in. We had to play Lamar Jackson, who is probably going to win the MVP this season, with Derrick Henry, who is one of the best running backs in the NFL. And you went out and you defeated that team. And this Baltimore Ravens defense is really good. They did a good job towards the middle of the game of adjusting to Josh Allen, making him uncomfortable a little bit, and putting this offense on a little bit of a stale run for a little bit of the game. And this is a wonderful team. Hats off to Jim Harbaugh for what they have done this season and what they've accomplished. But this team is going to be right back in it next season, competing for the AFC title. So I'm going to say this. I know Puka's saying it right here. Lamar isn't the best quarterback. I'm not saying that he's not the best quarterback, but he's probably going to win the MVP this season. But there's some really good quarterbacks in the AFC overall. I would say that Lamar and Josh Allen are right up there for MVP votes, but obviously Patrick Mahomes, with the Super Bowl titles that he has, is the best quarterback that you're going to have to go up against. So now Buffalo goes from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to going up against the best in the AFC in Patrick Mahomes, with some favorable calls that happened yesterday against them. So now it's going to be a tight game, but what's come out of it with the win was take 24 hours to refocus and get back to the Kansas City Chiefs and put all our effort into beating them.
Yeah, I love that. Ryan, look, we'll see next week, but we're going to talk about this next game and Mahomes in a couple days. We're going to enjoy this victory tonight. So we'll find out next week, sir. All right. Let's see here. Josh Allen is no Tom Brady. He says the same thing. Again, we'll talk about this in the upcoming week. Times are changing, Ryan. That's all I'm saying. Times are changing. Let's see here. Favorable calls. I'm not sure what you're referring there, Chad, but let me know. Matt Cheddar, I do feel huge relief because where Ravens are the best, Bills can take a breather because Chiefs are cheaters. No, we're not going to say that at all. Come on now. Let's go. Let's talk about this game. We got the victory. Let's talk about the Chiefs in a few days. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. They are they're the Kings until they can be knocked off that hill. Let's see. RX fly fishing. Let's go Bills. Ravens wouldn't have been in the game without Henry. Josh, real MVP. Yeah, that was something in our group chat, Sean. We were joking with some of the Ravens guys, and they're like, all right, let's let this game settle it. Right? Whoever wins the game, MVP. So sorry, my friends in the group chat. It is what it is. Josh Allen, MVP. Now, Brett could be right. He said, Lamar's had a fantastic year. He could get the MVP. And by the way, the voting's already done. None of the playoff games influenced this whatsoever. They made they vote prior to the playoff starting, right after probably the same time they do the All-Pro voting, and a lot of the same folks are there. But John, there's a path for Josh Allen winning the MVP. It's been rare when the All-Pro quarterback doesn't win the MVP. It's been rare, but this might be the year. So what do you think about Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're not biased to or impartial to Lamar, you could say that Allen should win it. Again, not that Lamar has the best weapons like Joe Burrow does, but the expectation for them was they were the 1 seed last year. They're going to repeat that or be in the Super Bowl or what have you. And the Bills weren't going to even get third in the division. They don't have talent, offense or defense. Josh is going to have to play crazy to win, and then he did all that. And now they're saying, oh well, Chris Sims said before the game, this is the best cast Allen's ever had. Well, they didn't say that in the beginning until after Allen made them all look good. So again, Lamar had an MVP season for sure. But when you look at the situation, what they had around him, I think Allen maybe edges him out a little bit. And then if he doesn't, Lamar has 3 MVPs and 3 playoff wins. He's the only MVP, multiple-time MVP to never go to a Super Bowl. So I guess it'll be good for him in that sense. But maybe it'll help people understand, Allen doesn't have the MVPs. He doesn't have all the first-team All-Pros. He doesn't have the Super Bowls. But when you compare him to people that do, he's still above them in talent. But they're going to look at Lamar as a better quarterback because he got the MVPs. So that's the only reason why I think it means a lot to fans, is because Josh Allen and the Bills always get slighted. They were home underdogs for the first time since 1967. The Chiefs weren't even favored to beat us last year, and they were a better team than the Ravens are. So it's just really weird. I don't understand why Josh is looked at the way he is, but I think he's the MVP, and if he doesn't win it, at least he wins the playoff games that matter when they count. And again, Lamar's a top 3 quarterback in my opinion. And at the end of the day, if he wins it, good for him. But I think Allen could possibly win the other MVP that's still on the table. But yeah, to go back to what your buddy said in the chat, the better team did win. And I'm actually surprised they said that because I watched your guys' show and they were talking, oh, no matter who wins, go beat the Chiefs or do this and do that. Now when they lose, now it's, oh, the better team didn't win, blah, 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 blah. If, again, they're going to have all the excuses in the world, all the Ravens fans and the Bills detractors, didn't have Zay Flowers, the weather was bad, Mark Andrews dropped the ball, blah, 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 all this other nonsense. But the Bills played in the same field. They played in the same weather condition. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't drop the football, and they came to play when they were told that they couldn't stop this big offense. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't score on this team because of a week 4 game. And as my name says, what about week 4? This goes to show that week 4 doesn't mean anything. It goes to show that just because you beat someone one time and the Chiefs are proof of that, it doesn't mean that when you come down to the biggest moment, you're gonna lose. So again, great season for the Ravens, even better season for us. We still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Ryan, hey, if this is true, cool. You're telling me we're going to Super Bowl. Let's go. Let's see here. Chad, yeah, I'm sorry you're having to deal with this. We got our Chiefs friend here, Chad the Chief, and look, it's game on. This is what what it should have been. This is what it should be. And this is again, we gotta get over the hurdle. Until we do, let's be real, people. The Chiefs know how to win 7 straight AFC championship games. We'll find out. We'll talk about this in the upcoming days. Let me catch up with everybody here. Let's see here. Let's go. Mad Cheddar out there. Chad the Chief. Ryan. All right. Got a lot of negative stuff going on out there. We'll keep that. Hide the current comment. All right. So I want to talk about those 3 turnovers. They were key. The first one, Taylor Rapp makes a nice interception. They blitz Milano. Again, great play. And I don't know what Lamar was thinking there. He kind of throws the ball up, but Rapp makes the interception. And if you want to talk about getting a little cheated on that one, the refs call a holding call against Deion Dawkins, which they replayed that. That was just insane that they even called that. Killed the drive. So Ravens fans, if you want to say something, you can go look back at that and say, you know what? Yeah, we got a little lucky there that we got away with nothing. But and then on the second turnover, that was, Sean, Damar Hamlin, blitzing, does not get juked. Normally Lamar's going to make a couple moves and get away from that. He does not. Now, of course, Lamar had lost the ball on the fumble. He was in shotgun. Bad snap, loses the ball. But Damar Hamlin, fantastic play, Sean. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling someone else, these are the kind of plays that Super Bowl winning teams make because, maybe the Ravens have a better roster, but it's about who makes those one play different or those you get away with something. You kind of get lucky with like a tip pass that gets intercepted, and that forced fumble. And when Lamar was fumbling the ball and Damar Hamlin made a great play getting his hands on him, and then Von Miller picking the ball up and getting us close, that's all conducive to winning a big game. And when you don't turn the ball over and when you force things like that, you apply pressure. It's a collective of not just Josh Allen making the play, but everyone else has to contribute. And they did that today. And it was really good to see, especially a lot of our fan base and including all of us on this network. We know the defense has let us down a lot in the playoffs, and making plays like that, giving us a chance to have a big lead. And then the offense kind of cooling off in the second half. The defense still hung in there and made a lot of good plays against a great offense. So, man, that play, Damar Hamlin setting the tone, Taylor Rapp making a nice play, Terrell Bernard punching the ball out. That's all he was looking to do, punch that ball out. And we were missing guys like that in week 4. Taylor Rapp got knocked out in the first quarter. Bernard wasn't playing. Milano wasn't playing. And they were all contributing factors into great plays.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Terrell Bernard got that third one. When they were driving, they were driving to take the lead at that point. And They get a wide open. Mark Andrews are like, damn it. But you could see players were falling. We were slipping. I'm like, how do you get wide open? Then they show the replay and I see the defender slip. Because on the when it's snowing like that, the offense always has the advantage for sure. But Terrell Bernard, like you said, he goes after it, opportunistic. This is what this Bills team's been all year. This is why they're at the top in turnover differential. This is real stuff. It's not lucky. They're making plays. They're going for that. That's they train for that. So give them their props, man. It's not something lucky is you do it one time, a couple times. But doing it all year, and you heard Romo on the broadcast say the Bills have never been beat in the turnover differential. And here we go again. So love it. Great stuff. Brett, let me throw it to you. What do you want to talk about next, man?
I mean, for me, listen, I got to talk about the run game of the Buffalo Bills in this game. But not only the run game, but the offensive line, man. The line did a wonderful job of not only getting involved in the game, but making this so that they did exactly what I was trying to say in the lead up to this show was they need to run the ball and create. They need to control the time of possession battle. They did a wonderful job of that in this game. I don't have the numbers on me, to be honest with you, but they did a wonderful job of controlling the time of possession and just grinding this game out and making it so that this defense of the Baltimore Ravens got tired. They just fought every single drive to keep it going. And I'm so glad to see that because I was worried in this game about Patrick Queen and if he was going to control the game in the middle for the Baltimore Ravens or Kyle Hamilton as well. But Buffalo just continued to battle and battle and battle. And they played bully ball, honestly, in this game. They did a good job of playing that bully ball mentality and just run the ball down their throats and grind it out. And it's a sloppy style of a game, but it's a game that, everybody loves. It's a two-possession game, and it gives me a heart attack every single time I see the Buffalo Bills do this. But we get wins this way, and I couldn't ask for a better team and a team that just continues to grind every single week and doesn't give up. And that's credit to Coach McDermott. That's credit to Bobby Babich as well. And they did a wonderful job in this game of just making it a game where the Bills were able to just control the ball game on all aspects. I did feel like for a little bit that we were going to lose this game, but they did a wonderful job of keeping us in the game throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're gonna break it all down here in a little bit. The momentum did shift in that second half. It shifted in a big way, but we'll talk about that. I do want to say, Lions Nation, I feel your pain, man. I was pulling for you guys. I want two teams going to the Super Bowl that have never won one. So it'd have been great to see. I was pulling for you. I think the injuries to your defense towards the end of the season was just a little too much. But you guys are a great team, man. So they'll come back strong next year. Take it from a Bills fan who's been there many, many times and been heartbroken. Don't worry, your team's in good shape and love what you got on the offense. Even love what you got on the defense, but you just had too many injuries. So thanks for the support. Thanks for jumping in, and you'll be okay, man. You'll be okay. Trust me. Yeah. All right, let's see here. He says, let's see. What else do we got? We got someone else who just joined in who said something. Who said beat the Chiefs? Oh, here he is. Vikings fan. Another team that, man, I was surprised what happened in the playoffs. I don't know if something got figured out or the blueprint was out late in the year, but that was a tough loss. I was expecting them to beat the Rams, but we're going to try our best. The Bills are going to try their best. We're going to try our best to support them through that. But Sean, do you want to say something, and then we're going to go break it down?
I was going to say, because Lions Nation had me kind of thinking, the common theme so far in the playoffs has been the team that turns the ball over a lot loses. So the Lions probably should have won the game, but I think they had 5 turnovers or four turnovers. It's hard to win that way, especially when the other team has none. The Ravens had 3 turnovers. We had none. The Packers had 3 turnovers. The Eagles had none. It's really hard to win football games, especially in the playoffs, because I don't care what seed you are. These are all teams that can do something in the playoffs. And when you turn the ball over, it makes it hard to win the football game. So again, the Lions are a fantastic team. I think it shocked everybody that the Commanders won, and the Commanders aren't a bad team. It's just when you turn the ball over so much, it puts you in a bind, and then it, that was part of why we won the football game today. Our defense made plays, and our offense made plays, and we made enough plays to win the football game. And when I said luck earlier, I mainly mean you need something to bounce your way, like a field goal to hit off the upright and then bounce in instead of bounce out. You need your running back to lay someone out instead of getting tackled short of the first down mark. So playoffs, because it's only one time and you're done. So everything has to go your way. You have to play consistent, excellent football. And in these first two games, obviously, knock on wood, we didn't turn the ball over, and we played excellent. And 31 points and 27 points. The Baltimore Ravens team, as much as I don't like saying like, oh, this half of the year, this team was this, and the other half this was that. But the last 8 games, they were number 1 in points allowed, number 1 in yards allowed, and all those other metrics for defense. And we put up 27, and Josh only had 127 passing yards. Very high completion percentage, 2 rushing touchdowns, and ran for over 100 yards. They were only giving up 80 yards on the ground for the whole entire year. They were the number 1 ranked rushing defense. So we dominated passing on the best pass rush in the league. And then we ran the ball on them, and we ran the ball on the number 1 run defense. So a lot of good things to look forward to. And I'm just excited. I really want to talk about, I'll throw it to you guys. At Oliver, I always heard a lot of people saying he never shows up in the big moments. So there's someone I'm going to pay a visit to tomorrow that I haven't listened to in a long time, because he's one of the ones that always says that Oliver doesn't do nothing. And he was a force today. Yeah, he made a couple plays, but controlling that line of scrimmage, pushing those offensive linemen around, they all did a fantastic job. But I just wanted to give Oliver some extra love because he showed out today.
All right. Well, listen, everyone, I am hyped as heck. Please smash that like button. If you're a Bills fan, if you're here just wanting to talk about things, please smash that like button. If you're new to this channel, Nickel City Mafia, we've been around for 4 years. I don't know where you've been, how you've been missing us. Please drop a nickel on that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate all fans. Look, we have some great friends from the Chiefs. We have some Dolphins fans, our friends as well. So, hey, we love all fan bases. We're here for it. So let's break it down a little bit, and then we'll get into stats afterwards. But let's talk about it. So again, the Bills win the coin toss, which is just what we want. We'd like to have that opportunity to go for the 2-4, at the end of the first half and get the ball in the second half. So you come out and you're like, all right, cool. They're in that 3 linebacker set, and they stuff Henry early. Stuff him early. Bills have a big Ravens have a big 3rd and 8 on the 3rd play of the game. You're like, all right, let's get this ball here. Nope, they convert, something that we've always been a little saying in this past year is like, man, we give up those 3rd and longs. And then they finish it off with a nice throw, a Jackson to Bateman, 16-yard touchdown. You're like, damn, did I just see this last week with the Broncos? And you got to be a little worried at this point, Sean. Let me ask you got to be a little worried, right?
Yeah, but there's, I'm a different person when it comes to the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, I'm more level-headed. I understand anything can happen. It's a lot of game left. In the regular season, I get pissed off really easy about stuff like that. But after that happened, I was really excited because, we gave up some wide open passes, but we were stopping the run like you wouldn't believe. And a lot of those wide open passes were because of miscommunication. So I was like, yeah, they got a touchdown there, but I think they'll turn it around later on. And then it went to a 21-3 run after that. And good to see you, Sarah. Glad you're here. We missed you over here. But yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking at first, but then I quickly was like, you know what? A lot of good things on that drive. Let's see what the offense does. Now, if we go and get 3 and out, then maybe I'll be a little bit more nervous. But then we answered. Josh made a key 3rd and 8 pass. Then he had a nice 4th and 2 run, and then we put a touchdown up, and it was back to being okay. Here we go. It's that type of game. So yeah, I knew the defense. All I had to do is make a few stops. You got to score, and for me in the playoffs, I don't care if you give up 50 points as long as you score 51. And the defense really. So I was really shocked of how outstanding they came out and played. And because of how they played in the first half, just like that Detroit game, it gave us the opportunity to take a lead and then keep that lead and win a football game.
Yeah. So they come out, Ravens score quickly on an 8-play, 73-yard, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. But like you said, Sean, the Bills answered back with an 11-play, 70-yard drive, taking up 5 minutes and 57 seconds, which was scored by Mr. Ray Davis. Now, Ray Davis, who was in concussion protocol last week, I didn't even expect him to be playing. Lo and behold, he plays, and he played pretty damn well this game.
Absolutely.
So great stuff there.
Yeah.
So,
and real quick, Mike, sorry to interrupt again, but to Sarah's point about the play calling, we all mentioned that in the group chat, because even though the run was working a lot, it's like every first down you run, and then you get 1 yard after they started stopping it in the second half, and then now we're in an obvious passing situation, and then you throw a 3rd and 5 screen to Dawson Knox, the slowest guy on our team. I just don't understand. Josh could throw it downfield. He made plays, to Curtis Samuel on a 3rd down, and Keon Coleman throwing the ball to him downfield. They could do all that, force a penalty even. We got one on Trey White throwing it deep to Coleman because he's got the size advantage. So I think they were, because we were up the way we were, and they were scared that they can take the game over when they run the football. We played not to lose, and it almost came back to bite us. But when it mattered most, we made some plays. And I think it'll be different when we play Kansas City, because I think we play each other so much. It's like playing a division team. So I don't think they're going to be, let's be conservative. I think they're just going to go all out and be aggressive, and I think they should. So before we moved on, I just wanted to touch that because it was the play calling. It was a little bit irritating.
Yeah. All right, and we'll get to that. We're going to talk about some of these drives because in the second half, that's where it got a little sus. You're like, what the heck's going on here? Because we really had an opportunity to put the nail in the coffin early in the second. We didn't, but we'll get there. So on the third series of the game, the Ravens, 2 plays and big interception here. Lamar Jackson gets blitzed by Milano. We mentioned that earlier. Throws the interception to Taylor Rapp, and the Bills are in business, right? 7-7. Bills are in business. This is what you want. You wanted a few stops early. You get a big one here. But I'll be dang if that wasn't ruined by a phantom holding call. Are you friggin' kidding me, right? So the Bills get the ball, and Deion Dawkins was called for a penalty, and that killed the drive. So you got the ball. Let's see here. 4 plays, 4 yards, and you're punting, and the big stopper there was the holding call.
Yeah, that was so frustrating.
Right.
Because
right. And
it took us out of field goal range. And, I don't know how you feel about it, Brett, but once you get put in that situation and then you guaranteed you have to pass, you have to do this, it killed the entire thing. And that could have been a drive where we even scored another touchdown and the game could have been different. And, I feel bad for Dawkins because he's perfected the snatch and trap technique. And now he was like, oh, well, how's that a holding? And then it made me worried a little bit because I'm like, well, is he going to have to change his game because of that worry? But he didn't. So sorry to interrupt, but my thoughts are just trying to jump out. So I'm sorry to interrupt. So go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, no, I mean, as you heard from my son over here, I mean, he was definitely upset by that. He's crying because he felt like that was not a hold. Yeah. So in my opinion, I mean, listen, what more can you do in that situation, to do the technique that you're taught to do? That's not a hold, but obviously I'm glad that they took it as one play and continued to move on and make the next play the best play. And that's what they did. And credit to the offensive line for what they did today.
Yeah, let's remember it was 2nd and 11 at the Baltimore 47, and Josh throws a nice ball to Curtis Samuel for 8 yards. So we're looking at a 3rd and 3, great situation. Most likely you're going to convert that first down, but nope, right. That flag comes out. So big game changer there early on. But like you said, Brett, they kept going. Right, it's going to happen. You're going to have some calls go against you. I know some of the Ravens guys that I was talking about, that pass interference on Trey White. We'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, so the Bills have to punt the ball, unfortunately. And the Baltimore starts at their 9-yard line. And they are driving 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 28. And guess what? Damar Hamlin with a huge sack and fumble. Yes. Did he recover it? No, he didn't. Von Miller picks it up. Almost goes to the house. I don't know about you guys. I'm getting worried. Like, Von's not really a running back, and he's holding that ball in his right hand. I'm like, he's not covering up. And you could see that Ravens guy, he's going to punch that thing out. I'm like, oh, my God. First, I was thinking, can Von really go to the house?
Yeah, I was scared. I was like, he's right behind you. He's right behind you. Cover that ball.
My thought in that situation is, man, for a 35-year-old guy that's got, as much weight as he does on him, he runs pretty damn fast. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that when I'm 35 that, after about, 5 more plates of this buffalo chicken dip that I made today, I hope that I can definitely run that fast, because that's more than I would need. I'd need a lot of oxygen in that situation.
So after that, let's see here. The Bills take over. They go 4 plays, 24 yards, touchdown. Buffalo goes up 14-7, and the momentum had shifted in a big way at that point. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Got a lot of good folks out there. Sarah, I haven't seen you out here before, so thank you.
You remember, she's been around forever, remember?
I see her on Tommy's, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't seen her.
It's been a while, but
I'm an old
regular
guy. My memory is good for about 2 weeks. I'm sorry, but good to see you, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. And she says it's crazy losing Rap kills our whole defense, though. It affected us early because I know on that deep touchdown, I think it was to Bateman. You're like, yeah, DeMar was a little bit out of position. Maybe that doesn't happen with Hamlin. I'm sorry, with Rap in there. But they made adjustments, and I still, it was great that Cole Bishop was able to get some playing time towards the end of the year. So really, really important there. And then she says, like they should have switched the dime or something. Sean, you're the defensive guy. You think they should have switched the dime once Rap went out of that game?
I think it would have been good to try, but I think just because they had to put Bishop in anyway, and Bishop probably would have been the dime guy. I think they were just happy with how the defense was playing in the beginning anyway, and really they were alternating with nickel and then 4-3, and I just thought they were doing a lot of blitzes off the edge, blitzing in the run game, and then sending pressure in obvious passing situations. I think they did a great job of that, because I mean, you had to try something different. They just did whatever they wanted in the first game. But yeah, I thought defensively they did a good job. But I think they did a little bit of dime near the end. But yeah, fantastic adjusting when people go out. And like you said, it would have been nice to have Kyrie Elam in.
Yeah.
But like I saw a comment, I know you're going through it, but if you wanted to jump a little bit on that 4th and 2 where he took the field goal and we went up by 8, Trey was mentioning why not going for the touchdown, why not sneaking it twice, we talked about. And that's the second time Brady tried to be cute and running in shotgun when you could just tush push and at least get 1 yard. Allen always gets 1 yard. I mean, he always gets 1 yard at least. And he did that, and against, I think it was the Rams, and we ended up getting a holding or a false start, and then we ended up not getting a touchdown on the drive. So it's so simple. Josh is your best player. Let him get the ball as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. Try to push him in. If he doesn't get it that one time, do it again. If you start from the shotgun, yeah, you might be able to make something happen, but you're running 3 yards back of where you would be starting if you did a tush push. So against Kansas City, situations like that, you have to go and be aggressive. You can't just be conservative. And again, McDermott didn't do a horrible job coaching, but this is playoffs. Do or die. Leave it all out there. Don't try to be cute. So I know you're going to go through it, but that popped off.
We'll stay here real quick with top of this because I have kind of a different take. And I was upset at first. I was telling you guys, why not tush push? Why? Even Tony Romo, tush push. And then I know McDermott went down and he took a close look. So all right, let's walk through this. They tush push. They get 1 yard. I know both of you guys, because I've already heard from Brett earlier on. I know, Sean, you're like 4th and 1. We're going to tush push again and go for it. But if you get stopped, guess what? We're not up. They score a touchdown, which they did. They win the game. So I was okay. So I'm thinking about it. If they go in the shotgun, you give Josh Allen multiple outs. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He has a lot more options. I get it. Tush push would have been nice because you could have even scored on a tush push. Could get 2 yards. We've seen Josh get 2 yards on a tush push. My son was saying before that play, because he was still excited, he was still hoping for his team to win. He's like, whoever tackled Josh and tripped him up, that was a huge play, by the way. They tripped up Josh, got him at the 2-yard line. By the way, I think that was a bad spot. He should have been at the 1. But anyhow, that was whoever the defensive player was, I can't remember off the top of my head. That was a big play. Ended up giving the Ravens a chance. And again, we can go back and forth all night whether McDermott should have gone for it, but guess what? He kicked the field goal, and it won us the game. They needed a 2-point conversion. They didn't get it. And game over. So it worked out. Again, you can play out so many scenarios. Tush push twice, touchdown. Okay, really game over. Tush push twice, ball slippery, fumble. We've seen Josh fumble last year, or was it 2 years? I forget when it was, but you can see in an icy game like that, snowy game, the ball could come out at any time. So I don't know. I'm not going to beat up McDermott. We got the win. I'm just saying. I know, Brett, you're itching to say something. What are you going to say?
I am. I'm itching to say something because I'm going to play the devil's advocate in this situation, okay? Why not at least try and line up and see what they run, okay? If you don't like what you see, take a timeout. You had timeouts on the field. You know, maybe you draw them off sides in the situation. You already drew them off sides one time with Spencer Brown on that one of the plays. So if you get it down at the 1-yard line in that situation on 4th and 1, then you go for it. You run the tush push. If it doesn't work out, you put them down at the 1-yard line. They have to go 99 yards to beat you in that time frame. Okay. Now I understand that having Tyler Bass go out there and kick the field goal, that puts it at an 8-point game. Yes, I agree that that's probably the correct call to do, but at least line up and utilize the timeout in that situation in order to see what they're going to do. You're up by 5 in that situation. Odds are in your favor that you can win the game and not worry about a field goal if you at least line up for the play. So if it doesn't work out, you don't like what you see, you can call the timeout, give Bass the opportunity to kick the field goal. But if you like what you see, then you run the play and you're up by 12.
Yeah. I think they'll be aggressive next week against the Chiefs. We saw it in the previous game against the Chiefs. They were aggressive. Go ahead, John.
But yeah, I'm not mad that he took the field goal at that point because it was like 4th and 2.5. But to not line up, and because McDermott said it before, our best short play is Josh Allen sneaking the ball. So if it's 4th and a long 2, how many times have you seen him get 3 or 4 or 5 yards on it? Why not just give him an opportunity? And if it's 4th and 1 or 4th and inches, do it again. But because you had made it 4th and 2.5, then you got to kick the field goal because you're up. You would be up by 8. Now, if you would have been up by 7, I don't know if they might not have took the field goal. They might have tried it differently. Again, and ultimately it worked out. It just didn't make sense not to do the tush push on 3rd and 2. That's where you had to do it. Or like you said, Mike, do the op where you roll out. Josh Allen looks like he's running, and if there's a pass play open, pass it. If not, take it or throw it away because you can get a touchdown. You can get you can get no yards. You can whatever. But they just immediately ran, and he ran right into a bunch of people. So, but it worked out in the end. But next week you gotta, if it's 3rd and 2, do a tush push or bring in Gilliam and then have Davis pound it. Do something different than just put him in shotgun and being 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I just think it was a bad play call by Brady. But sorry about that. We'll move on.
Yeah, and if that play doesn't work out, there could be a flag for a holding or a pass interference in that situation. The odds would be in Buffalo's favor, in my opinion. And yes, Buffalo would have lost the game there if it didn't work out under those scenarios. But who knows? Buffalo could have stopped them one more time.
Yeah, they could have. Well, let's not worry about that because we didn't need to, and we won the game.
We're in the title game.
Super Bowl Bills. Mike, I hope your son never has to experience the hurt of Super Bowl losses. I hope so. I hope so as well. But you know what? He's experienced. This was a heartbreaker for him. Obviously, I've told the story why he's a Ravens fan. But you know what? He's also a Bills fan. So he supports his dad. Like I can't tell you how much he's helped me when the Bills have lost some big games. So he'll get through it. We're going to do something special for him after the show, and we'll make him all better. But yeah, I hope not. I mean, it's heartbreaking, and he's seen the heartbreak last year where the Ravens lost in the AFC championship game. Of course, he's heartbroken this year, but he'll get used to it. Hey, look, I went through 4 Super Bowl losses, and it made me a better person. Let me just say that, and I'll tell you a story one day why that is. But anyhow, let's move on there. Let's see here. So Bills are up 14-7. Big play there. They kick to the Ravens. The Ravens go 9 yards, 57 yards, 9 plays, 57 yards, 5 minutes and 9 seconds, and they get a field goal at the end. 14-10. And let's see here. I'm trying to look. Again, another big play. Greg Rousseau for a sack on that series. It was 2nd and goal at the 3-yard line. You're like, oh, damn, just run Henry. Here's another case, right? Sean or Brett, run Derrick Henry twice. Well, why not, right? Run him right up the gut. But no, they decided to try to throw the ball, and he's sacked by Rousseau. By the way, so, Sean, what'd you see from that D-line? I know you mentioned Oliver, who had a great one. What'd you think of Rousseau? He had a big play here.
Yeah, he played really good. I think they all played great. Epinesa did a great job. I loved how they had him standing up instead of being in a 3-point stance on some of the plays. And, obviously you have a better eye on the backfield. You're quicker to go because you're already standing up. You don't have to get up out of your stance. So he made some good plays on the run defense. Greg Rousseau made great plays. He missed Lamar one time when he had his hands on him, but other than that, fantastic. They all played like they heard all the noise that they're not big enough. They can't do this. They can't stop them. And they played fast. They played tenacious. They played gritty, and they put all their effort into it. And you could really tell. And going back to, because our fan base even says it too, we have a bunch of small guys. And again, you can't really find linebackers in the NFL this day and age that aren't 6 foot, 225. That's like the common build for a linebacker. There's no 6'4", 250 like Ray Lewis, or you got Tremaine Edmonds. But other than that, the best linebackers are all 6 foot, 225, 235. So yeah, they might be looking small, but if you don't have the strength, the size and the power, you have speed and you have agility and you have other things where you can take advantage of somebody. So the Ravens right guard is 375 pounds. So you might not be bigger than him, but you might have a guy that's quicker than him that can get around him. So use your strength. Don't try to be something you're not. And I think they did that a lot today, where they use their speed, they use their ferociousness, and yeah, they're not bigger than them, but they played bigger than them. They had a bigger heart, and that's what I told you a couple times before. Defense is majority about heart. It's not about how big you are, how strong. It's about how hard you hit and about the heart in your chest. So I think they showed that today.
Yeah, and the classic example of what you're talking about. Get this. I mean, the Ravens had 1st and goal at the Buffalo 3. Odds are Ravens are going to score a touchdown, right? You got Henry, you got Lamar, who can roll out. He can run it fantastic as well. So 1st and goal, guess what? Milano and Dorian Williams with a big 1 yard, -yard stop. Big stop right there. So now it's 2nd and goal at the 3. You're like, all right, yeah, here we go again. And then Jackson's sacked by Rousseau. 3rd and goal, incomplete pass to Derrick Henry. By the way, Derrick Henry's like wishing he had worked on his hands during the season. But it's a different game when you're playing in the cold. Nobody's really used to that. Obviously, the Bills did a great job. You can say they're used to it. They practice in it all the time when it is snowing. But that's huge. I mean, and so just a fantastic stop there, and the Bills get the ball with the momentum and go down and score a touchdown. 9 plays, 70-yard drive, and they do it in 3 minutes and 27 seconds. And I think this is where the Trey White, by the way, I had forgotten Trey White was over there on the Ravens, but here it is. It was, let me see here. Yes, it was 3rd and 5 at the Baltimore 30, right? So Josh Allen throws deep to Coleman, penalty on Trey White. So let's talk about that. Is that a penalty? I'll start with you, Brett. Is that a penalty?
Listen, they're both going at it, and it's a playoff game. I'm going to say this right now. You got to let them play.
Okay. What about you, Sean?
They called it, right?
Right. That's what I say.
There you go. That was a Jared Goff. They asked him about that Saints game where there was clearly pass interference. He said, "Well, did they call it?" And they're like, "No." Like, okay, so it's not pass interference. But to your point, Brett, yeah, they were both fighting. But when the defender's fighting and it makes it enable for you to get your arms to make the catch or to turn around, then it's an easy call. But they let a lot go today.
They did.
Oliver tackled Lamar out of bounds. They didn't call it. they threw Kincaid to the ground. They didn't call it. They tackled Phillips to the ground. They didn't call it. They grabbed Oliver by his neck on one of the plays where I think it was when Lamar got sacked. Didn't call it. So I think it was like 4 penalties to 1, and a lot of them were just offside or whatever. So I think they were less flag happy than most teams or most games. So I guess we can't complain about that. But Trey knows the guy was bigger than him. He was worried about getting beat over the top. So he tried to yank him down a little bit and set us up for a good touchdown.
Yeah, I thought too, like if they didn't, like let's say they call nothing. It's 4th and 5 at the 30-yard line. There's a minute something left. You don't want to give the Ravens the ball back. I'm feeling like they might have gone for it. I mean,
Probably.
they might have gone for it on 3rd and 5. So anyhow, I actually did think it was a pass interference, but it is what it is. They call it. It's just like the Phantom hold. They call it. There's nothing we can do about it as fans. It is what it is. I just got to make the most of the opportunity, and the Bills did with Josh Allen running it in from 4 yards, giving the Bills a 21-10 lead, and that's how it ended at halftime. And again, out there in the chat, hit that like button, please. I mean, this is a celebration. Let's go. We are going to the AFC Championship game. Can you believe this, boys? Can you believe this? Here's a trivia question for Go Bills podcast. How many AFC championships will this now be for the Buffalo Bills?
In the McDermott era?
No, in the history of the Buffalo Bills.
This would be number 7.
7. Let's talk through them. Let's see if you're right. Which was the first? Are you just throwing a number out there?
Oh, man. You're going to throw me off guard. Well, I'm saying before the AFL, obviously there's the AFL ones that are back in the day.
Give you that one. That was, guess what? That was KC. We lost that one. That was for the first time to go to Super Bowl before the NFL merger. But still, I'm counting that one. That was
wasn't there 2 there?
No, just one.
Just one? I thought that we had.
But I'm talking about. I guess you consider the one that I'm talking about in the Super Bowl era. Let me reframe that. So Super Bowl era.
So right? I'm going to go back to 90.
Okay.
That was the AFC Championship. So 90, 91, 92, 93.
So four times there.
4 times there. Then against Kansas City a few years back. That was the only time with Josh. This is now the second time with Josh. I'm trying to think of if there is another one.
So you got him at 7. Bills, Chiefs back in the 60s. Bills, 4 of them consecutively in the 90s, of course. Twice with the McDermott era. And now you're missing one. You're missing one more. There's actually an 8th one.
There's an 8th one.
There is.
So I'm going to say it was in the Kelly era.
It was.
I'm thinking
88.
I'll probably get the year wrong, but I'm going to say 96.
No, that's past Kelly's prime. I forget what season it was. It was either 88 or
You're right.
Wouldn't it be 89 against Marino?
No, it was against the Bengals.
That's
the
right.
Bengals, the Icky Wood era. Icky Wood with the Icky Shuffle. You remember that?
That's right, because that's the year that it was Bengals and San Fran.
Correct.
Like Brett and I weren't alive in the 80s.
Hey, you know what? I'm thinking Jake's rubbing off on you with all his trivia. So again, you got to research your Bills history there. And who knows, I might be missing one, but those are 8 that I can rattle off the top of my head. So Chad, you were off by 1 as well. Good guess though. All right, so we're at halftime. It's 21-10. Bills are in complete control, right? Complete control. Look fantastic. And for those that said, well, Josh Allen's stats got to be better. No, they don't. They got to be good enough to win. And they were. You don't turn the ball over. You take what the defense gives you, and you just make smart decisions. Was there a few bad play calls? Absolutely. There are probably a few bad play calls, and there were on the Ravens side as well. That happens. And it's not so much a bad play call. It's just a great play by the defense. So Anyhow, it's 21-10, and you're feeling good, Sean. You're feeling good. The Bills are getting the ball. You're like, dude, if we do what we did in the first half, we're going down. We're scoring a touchdown and taking a complete command of this game. But that doesn't happen. Now, you knew the Ravens were going to be do everything they can to get a stop in that first series. But, dude, a 3-and-out, Sean. What are you thinking at that point? What's going on?
I said, of course. But the 1 yard run and then the throw to Kincaid, it was a little bit low, but it's playoffs. You got to make plays. It doesn't matter if it's low, and you slide. So he threw it where only you could get it. Got to catch it, even though it was a tough pass, tough catch. Winners make people that win the Super Bowl make those kind of plays when they need to. And then they brought the house. They brought corner blitz, and then Josh wasn't able to get around it. And before anyone asked, that was not on the offensive line. I know people are going to think, oh, he was running for his life. They brought a corner. They brought Nate Wiggins on a blitz, and Nate Wiggins is a corner. Offensive linemen aren't going to block him. Running backs pick up blitz, and he was already picking up another blitz. So unable to get by him, you punt, and you're like, oh, here we go. Now they can make it 21-17. But, yeah, it wasn't a good start to the third quarter. We didn't really have a great third quarter, but again, luckily the defense gave us a big enough lead where, if we were tied going into halftime, we'd be in a big mess. And, it's a playoff game too. We can't forget we're in a divisional round for the right to go to the championship. So it wasn't going to be – they weren't going to lay down, and neither were we. So, yeah, it stunk having a rough third quarter, but I knew we were going to prevail in the end.
Yeah, so the what's up, buddy?
What's up, guys?
Where you at
we're
right
live
now?
from the tailgate. I'm live from the tailgate right now. Our lot actually cleared out, but we're waiting for traffic. It's an absolute nightmare on the street right now. So we're at my buddy's house, and I don't have a voice right now, but holy smokes, what a freaking game! Let me get the boys on. Let me get the boys on camera here. 1 second.
Yes, sir.
I'm 100% sober, by the way. Just want you all to know.
Oh,
Dry January in full effect.
Cheers.
Boys,
love it.
hello. We got some of the guys hanging out right now.
All right, let's
We're
go.
waiting for traffic to die down because I don't know. I don't think you can even see it from the camera here. Maybe it is dying down a little bit. There's cars moving now. So
right now, Jake's looking for the DUI checkpoints, so he's just making sure that he's clear.
No, none of that. I promise you. No, I was good. I didn't have a single beer. I had NA beers. I shotgunned my first NA beer today, guys. Pretty incredible.
Dude, yeah, you said
Now,
that. You would announce. But talk to us, man. Talk to us about the vibe in the stadium. It looked electric, and just what your thoughts were on this game, how it all went down.
It was amazing. I'll tell you what. So I'm here with actually my buddy's dad, and he was saying in the 40 years he's been coming to Bills games, he's never experienced an atmosphere like that. Walking out of the stadium, walking into the stadium, and then during the game, he said it was just unbelievable. And with the snow falling too, I could only imagine the aesthetic just had to look so great, but grinded it out, guys.
Yeah, they grinded it out.
Very impressive.
And yeah. So good stuff, man. I'm glad you got the win. And so what's your record? What's your record now when you go to the games?
My record has been pretty good over the last 2 years. Now, before that, I can't say it was great. I think in the last 2 seasons at home, though, I'm undefeated. Minus the Broncos Monday night game from last year, but that's it.
All right.
Pretty good.
Did you go to the playoff game last year where we lost to the Chiefs?
No, I was at the Steelers game before that, though.
All right. So,
fellas,
Jake, looks like we got to pack up and go to Kansas City and go to the championship.
I know. I was
Let's
just
go.
saying, I'm like, man, we got to look at tickets, but
maybe, maybe Chad and Weston can help us out with some tickets down there. So
yeah,
there we go.
A good luck charm.
So tailgate,
all right, guys.
Jake,
Hey,
you got to head up. All right, man. Good to see
you.
you.
No. I'll talk for a little bit here.
I was just gonna say
I can talk for a second.
Tailgate. Where'd you do the tailgate at?
So we're at my buddy John's house. This whole lot. He probably packed a good 100 cars in here,
Wow.
and we're just hanging out. It was mobbed a second ago. It's starting to move a little bit. We're getting some snow right now, but it was awesome. It was a different type of tailgate than usual because I usually am at my office. This was it was out in the open. We had some snow going. We had a nice fire pit, and Yeah, it was great. I mean, everything about it. So,
Can we see someone jump through a table right now?
hey, does anyone want to jump through a table
We got any tables?
for the show?
Is it right now?
Actually, we might. I don't know if we do have a table right now.
Uh,
Do you want to jump through one? All right, we're gonna get this live. Hold on, we're gonna get a table
all
out.
right,
One
let's
second,
go.
guys.
Let's go.
Jake,
Hey,
while
we're
you're
gonna
waiting
break
for
the
the table, I know we always say the previous game was louder, but compared to the Chiefs game we went to, how crazy was it?
We gotta do it in the spotlight, though.
Oh,
Yeah, the spotlight. Yeah. All right, we're getting a table, guys. 1 second.
All right, awesome. Sean had asked you a question. He was, what was that again, Sean?
Can you hear me, Jake?
Yep, I can hear you.
I was gonna say, compared to the Chiefs game we went to, was it the same kind of energy, or was it a little bit crazier?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Same kind of energy for sure, just a little heightened, obviously, because of the playoffs. But man, yeah, just amazing. I have no words. I mean, I sat in the stadium for a good 20 minutes after the game ended, and had a look at the video board, just seeing AFC champions, and man, or AFC championship next stop. Freaking awesome, man! It just, again, no words. I'm like, I don't even know what to say. It's amazing. It really is. But you know, I know I got a little cocky in our group chat saying, you know, maybe 34-14 Bills. I kind of had a feeling it would be a one-score game at the end of the day. Tyler Bass, I mean, ice in his veins today. He did a great job.
Yeah, I got to say that too. But Jake, I got to ask you this, man. I mean, the atmosphere that you're in to be in Highmark Stadium, the Bills go 10-0 in the regular season, man.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, how great is it to protect home field?
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, I'll tell you what, there was no way we were going to walk out of that stadium with a loss today. I felt like everyone was just on the same page. And the Ravens, they came to play, man. They came to play. There was no doubt. I was a little nervous at times, and we had our superstitions going because the guys in front of us took their shirts off. And as soon as they did that, they started scoring. And the second half, it wasn't as pretty. They put them back on. Then we got back on track. So my other buddy coming up from Florida, Alex Whalen, shout out to him. He's been on the show before. Actually won the gift card in our holiday special.
That's right.
He had a ski mask on, and he pulled it off for a second. And as soon as he did that, again, superstitions kicked in, right? And the Bills didn't start, you know, they were not playing as well. And he put it back on, and we got the win. So do we have that table, fellas?
I'm going to say this right now, though,
Get the table
Jake.
out.
I mean, your buddy Alex, I mean, listen, man, there's a chance of snow in Florida today.
Is there really?
I
Chance of snow in
don't know if you know
about
that.
2 inches. About 2 inches in North Florida. I'm already
Yeah,
prepared.
North Florida.
Obviously,
North Florida.
I'm in Buffalo, so I'm definitely prepared for a little snow in
Hey.
Florida.
I don't know if you guys can see it. We're getting some nice snow right now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So your friend lives what? Walking distance from the stadium?
Yeah, he's right on Big Tree. So, I mean,
wow.
literally, you walk diagonal and you're basically crossing over to the field house, which is pretty awesome. So, yeah, pretty
All right,
cool.
we're gonna get this table.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing back here. Are you guys getting the table out
man.
or what? Or is it too far? It might be too far in the truck. Way too far in the truck. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think we're getting the table.
It's all right. It's all right. It would have been monumental to actually get a live.
I know. Listen, I will
breaking the
do it.
table.
Maybe I'll do it at my house. Post a short of me jumping through a table.
All right, there you go.
Now, is your wife
That
going to
might
allow
be even
that?
better. I don't know. Probably not. We'll figure it out though. It's always a no unless you ask.
That's right. Well, Jake, thank you, buddy, for joining us, and tell your friends thank you for being at the stadium, supporting the team, and getting the dub.
Oh,
for us.
absolutely.
Love it, man.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a great show. Go Bills. Big dubs. Big dubs, baby.
Go Bills. Let's go.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care, buddy.
All right, so let's continue on. Let's get this thing so we can go celebrate. I got some celebrating to do still, and of course I got to take percent up, but let's go. So we hold them to a field goal. It's 21-13. Guess what? The Bills get the ball back, and you're thinking, all right, let's go. Let's settle down. Let's go down the field, get some points. Nope, they stop us. 6 plays, 18 yards, and we have to punt the ball again. And I'm looking here. What was their big play here? 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5. Nope, they just made a nice stop there. So we have to punt the ball, and you're starting to feel like momentum has shifted big time, which it has. And by the way, Derrick Henry had got it kicked in, right? They had started saying, you know what, let's use our strength. We're going to start running the ball, which they did in the first half, but we were able to contain it. I don't know if the field was getting more slippery or but they made some changes. They brought in heavy packages, and they go down and they go, let's see how many drives here or how many plays. They go down and score a touchdown, 7 plays, 80 yards, guys, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. A lot of that on the ground. And it's all of a sudden the 21-19 the score. Now, here's a play. Like, this is a huge play by the defense once again. This is Matt Milano tipping the ball. So they go for 2. Guess what? We shut them down. Matt Milano makes a great stop. So we maintain a 2-point lead. And then the Bills get the ball back on that drive, and they go down the field, and we get a nice field goal. It's 24-19 at that time. But, Sean, in the third quarter, why were they able to run so well on us when they weren't in the first half? What changed? What adjustments did they make?
It's hard to. I'll have to, when I do my film, rewatch it again. But the stats showed, as they always do, Derrick Henry's a better runner in the second half as he is in the first half. So I think it was more of just he kind of heated up. Maybe they had different formations, double tight ends, more lead blockers, and they just made some good plays. But as far as schematic go, I'll have to sit down and actually watch it again. But it's common for Henry to do that, and that's why it was big that we got a big lead, because it kind of takes him out of the game. And even I don't even know what he finished with, but it was definitely under 100 yards. And I know Justice Hill had a great game. He was like 5 carries for 50 yards. But the main threat is Derrick Henry, and they did a great job stopping him. And yeah, he made some plays in that third quarter, but ultimately it wasn't enough. And partially of the reason for that was because of how great we played in the first half. So, but good players make plays no matter what, and we knew he was going to make some plays.
Yeah, we sure did. I mean, he got 84 yards, to your point. He did average 5.3 yards a carry. Again, that third quarter is really where he got it going. And like you said, even Romo said that typically he gets better as the game goes on. And you can see that in the third, and momentum had shifted. You're getting a little concerned here again. But the Bills get the ball back, and they go down 11 plays, 52-yard drive. Actually, forget it. I forget this important drive. So it's 24-19. Bills had just kicked the field goal, and the Ravens get the ball. You're like, oh boy, they had just went down the field on us. And this could be them getting their second lead of the game. They took the lead on the first series, but here we go. It's 24-19, and they're moving the ball. You're like, oh boy, here we go. And my heart's starting to, skip a beat. And they make a nice play here to, let's see, it was 2nd and 11 to Baltimore 40. Jackson he goes deep to Andrews, who catches the ball for 16 yards. And Terrell Bernard on this opportunistic defense makes the strips it, knocks it out, punches the ball, and the Bills recover. Brett, at that point, you're like, dude, we go down and score a touchdown here, game over. And this is where this is the series that we went down, and we had third and goal at the 2. I'm sorry, second and goal. No, it was third and goal at the 2. Yeah. And this is where we're like, tush push. Didn't happen. They stop us, and then and we kick the field goal. We're up by 8. And so we talked about that earlier. Anybody want to say anything more? We kind of debated, yes, McDermott should have probably gone for the tush push. Romo was saying it. We were saying it initially. I gave my thoughts on maybe why they didn't, but in the end, they probably should have. And again, tush push, the way the Bills run it, you can get 2 yards. You get 2 yards easily on that. And at the very least, I don't know. Have you ever seen Josh stopped on any of the tush pushes this year?
Yeah, just that one in the Rams game.
Okay.
But that was but he had like 2 or 3 other one, or multiple in that game for first downs and a couple of touchdowns for it. But it was just that one time. But still, I like if you got stopped once out of 30 or once out of 20 or even once out of 10, I'm going for that every time. The odds are in your favor.
Yeah. So the Bills actually, once they recover that, they go on a nice drive. They're wasting clock. 11 plays, 52 yards, 5 minutes, 12 seconds. And the Ravens have to call a couple timeouts, kind of save some time. And again, that big play happens. They don't get the touchdown, but they get the field goal. Now, at least you're feeling pretty good. You're like, all right, can't lose on this drive. The least they can do is tied. But, being a Bills fan and, years of history, you're thinking, oh my God, is this going to happen? Is something crazy going to happen to us? And it didn't, Brett. It didn't. I mean, they got the touchdown. They go for 2 again. And what happens, Brett? I'll let you talk me through this. What happens?
Well, let's put it this way. Lamar Jackson rolls out to his right, wide open. Mark Andrews. And he catches it and drops it. So I had to sell it. For the
Andrews had a rough game. What do you have? Like 2 drops at least? I know Derrick Henry had a drop. But guess what? Did the Bills have any drops? I mean, you could argue the Dalton Kincaid one in his helmet as he's slipping, but that was a tough play. But not really.
No. I mean, listen, go back to last year, and the Baltimore Ravens had, I think they led the league in drops last season, if I'm correct.
I didn't know that.
So they've had a lot of drops. Mark Andrews was one of the players that had a lot of drops last season. So, I mean, it's the recipe of what John Harbaugh has with his team. So it's something that they need to address in the offseason, is number one, getting some players around Lamar, not only with they have a good core with Bateman and Zay Flowers, but they need one other wide receiver, in my opinion, in order to really make this defense of the Baltimore Ravens great, but also this offense of the Baltimore Ravens even better. Because if you can keep the Ravens up in games by, I would say, if they're up by 13 in those situations, then this Baltimore Ravens defense is going to come up with a couple of big plays. If they get a couple more defensive players in the game, then they'll come up with some big plays, and that defense is going to take care of their job and make the game a blowout.
Dude, I'm just, as I'm looking at the stats here, they're playing the fumble where Terrell Bernard knocks that ball out. It was a great play. It was a fantastic play. I mean, he sees Andrew trying to make a cut, and he's just focused in on knocking that ball out, and he hits it squarely and knocks out. It's just incredible.
Credit to not give up on the play. Listen, there's situations where I've seen it where teams phone it in, but this team does not give up whatsoever. This credit to McDermott, credit to Babbage for teaching that mentality, but this is a team that grinds it out every single time. And Josh Allen said it best on the interview on CBS. He said that this team just fights every single play, and that's one thing that he loves about them is they never give up. And I'm glad to say that they never gave up this year. I mean, listen, the odds were against us. They said that we didn't have the wide receivers to get to this far. They said that we don't have the defense to get this far. We lost all these weapons in the offseason between Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, all these different guys. We got to this point with the team that we have because we have such a great leader in the building in Josh Allen. We have a good coach in the building that puts the trust in his players, number one, but also lets his guys be themselves. And this reminds me so much, Sean, I'm going to say this right now. You can agree with me, but it goes back to like the MLB. I think of this Bills team just like I do with the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Rays have this mentality of, listen, 9 equals 8, it's that type of mentality is you go into the games, you don't have the best roster, number one, but you go out there and you play 9 great innings and you play and get to the World Series. And that's kind of how the Bills are. They're just this team that just grinds it out, keeps playing, and they have these utility players that are stepping up big time. And that's credit to Josh Allen for bringing out the best in his players.
Yeah, I compared it a lot to my 2019 Washington Nationals. They got rid of Bryce Harper, and before the season started, he was our Stephon Diggs type player, and then he went to Philly, and everyone's like, Washington's one of the oldest teams, even though we're not the oldest team right now. But we'll see what they do. And we start off bad. Then we had a resurgence after the All-Star game, and then we went and won the World Series and beat the best teams along the way in great unprecedented fashion. So right now it's starting to look a lot like that. And right next on the plate, we got the Bills or the Washington Nationals versus the LA Dodgers that year, who they were on 116 games, and they were the favorite to go to the World Series, and then we beat them. So they're the Kansas City Chiefs. So the story's playing out. It could be the same thing, and we could talk about this for years to come.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but on the onside kick, I revert back to my childhood days where if there was a play at the end, like a field goal, I could never watch. I'd go in another room, and I remember my grandfather calling me, "Mike, it's good. We made it. We made it." So I couldn't watch it. I go into, and I'm just listening for my son's reaction because I'm going to know exactly what happens. And sure enough, he's like, "Oh." And then I heard the fans on the TV going crazy. I'm like, "What happened? What happened?" He's like, "Dad, you recovered it." So game over. They did have to they ran the ball one time. I was a little worried about that. Ray Davis took the ball, had a nice run there, got a first down, and it was game over. Just snap and kneel. So great game, guys. Quick stats here. Josh Allen threw for 16 of 22 for 127 yards. He was sacked once. He didn't throw for any touchdowns, whereas Lamar Jackson threw for 18 of 25 for 254, 2 touchdowns. Now you might say, well, he doubled Josh in the yards. Well, they had to throw the ball late in the game, so they're going to get more yards that way. And he made 2 critical mistakes. Threw an interception, which didn't cost them any points. It should have, except for that dumb holding call. But the interception, I'm sorry, and then the fumble, right? Then the fumble. I mean, that ball was a bad snap to begin with. That play was messed up. Maybe he, just secures the ball and says, all right, go down. But he made 2 critical plays. Josh Allen made none. No interceptions, no fumbles, and that's just been Josh's game all year round. The rushing game was interesting. I mean, they still ran the ball they ran it 30 times for 176. They averaged 5.9, and they got 1 touchdown. It was Henry's touchdown in the second half. Buffalo ran the ball 36 times, ran it more than them. Averaged, they got 147 yards compared to the Baltimore had 176 yards on the ground, but we averaged 4.1. That's solid, and we got 3 touchdowns. That's absolutely solid.
And we had to kneel it. We nailed it too, so that ruins our average as well.
Yes, we did. So, and then Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns on the ground, with Ray Davis getting that other one. In the air, it was Khalil Shakir. There's a big play early on when Allen connected with Shakir deep down the field. It was interesting, Sean. It was interesting. Talk to me about the game plan, because there wasn't many things going down the field past 10 yards. I think Khalil was like one of the only ones that I saw. But tell me, was that planned?
Yeah, it must have been. Like I said, we wanted to run the football as we always do, and then once we had the commanding lead, it seemed like they went to let's do some screens, let's do some quick throws. We did have a couple. The Matt Collins catch was over 10 yards. Kincaid, I think, had a 10-yard one. And then what was it? Samuel had one called back because of the holding or whatever. But it just seemed like they were being conservative, and probably because of the weather too. I'll be honest. They didn't want things to slip through fingers and go to interceptions or whatever. So I think, as much as I didn't like some of the play calls, I think we should have thrown it down a little bit more, because I think we could have did well in the middle of the field, because Shakir did. Shakir did well in the middle of the field. I think Knox and Kincaid could have done better in the middle of the field as well. But I just think they were trying to be, let's make the plays and then try to force them to make us make a mistake, and they didn't. And we even with not putting a lot of yards up, and we still scored 27 points.
Yeah.
So
I love that, Sean, because like you said, stay clean. They knew Baltimore had already made a couple mistakes, and 3 of them in total. So you don't want to give the ball back or turn it over yourself. So that's a great call. Brian Label, I want to thank you so much for the super chat. Brian Label said last year, maybe you're 1 year off, Brian, just 1 year off, and that's okay. You can have a plus or minus 1. He had actually predicted last year was the year they're going to win it. Maybe this year, Brian, we get it. So thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate you coming in and supporting the channel. Appreciate that. Let's see here. This is Allen's best year. making so many good decisions. Absolutely. Although, did you guys see it? I saw it. I think it was on that 3rd and 2. Josh runs it, starting to get tackled. It looked like he wanted to pitch the ball back. He went Romo's announced it. Did you see that, Brett? He was like, you could see he was getting ready. He's like,
yep.
Thank God he didn't.
If he didn't get grabbed, he probably would have did it. But
He probably would
Absolutely.
he got wrapped up, so he's like, It was actually the defender kind of hugged him,
Yeah.
and it kept the ball in his chest. I think he would have tried to throw it if the defender didn't touch him like that.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that didn't happen. Definitely saw that. But yeah, he's making so many much better decisions. And again, he didn't have to really play hero ball. Just had to play a clean game. He's saving the hero ball for this upcoming game. He's going to need it. So let's go. But Brian, thanks for joining us.
I want to say this real quick, Mike. Listen, going back to Josh Allen in 2018 when he came out of college and everything, the biggest thing for me looking back from then to now is Josh's mind is so much better than it was back then. He would have made some careless, stupid mistakes to try and win ball games. Now he understands that he doesn't have to put everything on him in order to win ball games. You have a core with James Cook and Dalton Kincaid, these players that he has around him that he can trust. And he's doing it with them, but also with his mind. And he's beating teams by being smarter than them. That's a scary Josh Allen because he can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arm. But now you're beating teams with your mind. He's going to be unstoppable. And this is the maturity that I love in him to go from where he was in 2018, where he was leading the league in interceptions, to now where he's, such a good quarterback that he pretty much doesn't need an offensive coordinator to run the team. I mean, listen, whoever's going to be the offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills, if Joe Brady does decide to get a head coaching job, is pretty much going to be, have the easiest job you can possibly imagine, because you're going to go into this with Josh Allen and probably going into a head coaching position in just a few years.
Yeah. Well, good stuff, right? That's actually some great points there. Brian says, Brian, I'm curious. Why don't you wear like the ski mask that Lamar likes to wear? Hey, I'm cold. I'm staying warm, my friend. Let's jump to the defense real quick. Damar Hamlin was their leading tackler with 8. And of course, he had the big sack that Von Miller picked up, and he had 2 tackles for losses, had a QB hit. Obviously, that's the one that made forced the fumble. I mean, you could argue that he got beat on one play when Rapp went out. Okay, great. But I thought Damar Hamlin played a fantastic game. Also, he played a big hit on Henry. Henry's about to go to the house. And, to put your body in front of Henry, and he made the tackle there. He went for the legs. That's how you have to tackle, because Henry had a full head of steam, and he makes the big tackle there. So that was great. Let me just throw it to you, and I'll just say the other one who got a sack, it was Rousseau who got a sack, and Hamlin. The defense played really great at times. Yes, there was maybe that third quarter you could argue was not their best, but hey, that's going to happen when you're playing elite teams. Let me just throw it to you guys to talk about who you want to mention for standouts on the defense. Sean, I can't know you mentioned someone earlier, but let me throw it to you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great performance all around, but I'm going to give it to Ed because he was under a lot of scrutiny from a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people. And he was there. His presence was felt, and it was awesome. So having a guy like him lead your D-line, and then you got everyone else doing a good job, this is what we all expected all year, and they're doing it when it matters most, and hopefully they can continue it going into Kansas City, because Kansas City definitely needs to get pressure on them and have the defense force them into some mistakes, because they know how to win 7 AFC championships in a row, and Oliver's going to need to show out again like he did this last couple games.
What about you, Brett? Who do you want to give shout outs to on that defense?
I mean, listen, I'm going to say this right now. Pretty much everybody. This is a collective effort for the Buffalo Bills. Everybody played well. Unfortunately, losing out on a couple of guys. Luckily, Tyrion Johnson comes back into the game with that shoulder injury. I'm glad to see that. But losing Taylor Rapp, that's going to hurt if he's not able to come back out. But I was going to throw this over to Sean. I wanted to ask him if the Bills lose Taylor Rapp for the next few weeks, what is your thoughts on the practice squad of the Buffalo Bills? There's one of these two safeties has to get brought up, and Kareem Jackson, who's a 15-year veteran, or Micah Hyde, who is pretty much riding the fairy tale of the end of his career. He's going to retire after the season. Which one of these guys do you think Buffalo should bring up in this scenario?
Why not just, I guess everyone will want to bring up Hyde. For me, I think he's done playing, but Cole Bishop seemed to be fine today, so he would be the one playing. But it's tough because Kareem Jackson's a hard hitter, but Micah Hyde probably is more well-versed, obviously, with our scheme and our defense. But hopefully none of them have to get called up, but maybe they'll do Hyde this time just because the championship, and I know they really brought him in to be a coach, but we'll see.
Yeah. So good stuff, guys. I agree with you on the defensive side. Again, as a collective team, 3 turnovers against a very elite offensive Ravens offense. Just fantastic. You knew that's what it was going to take. You knew this Bills had it in them. They were the top turnover team all year, and by a mile. I don't say by a mile. Second place team was close, but still, everyone else by a mile. And this is, again, people are going to say, oh, the Bills got lucky to 3 turnovers. That's not luck. I don't know how you can say that's luck. That's a defense making plays. That's an offense not doing what they should. So get out of here with that. You got lucky. And Brian says, right call to go for the field goal and go up by 8. Baltimore would need a touchdown plus 2-point conversion plus stop Buffalo from game-winning field goal. So I thought that was the right thing. Yeah, even if they did score, if Mark Andrews did catch that pass, there was like a minute 30. Bills had a couple timeouts. You're feeling like, okay, just go down. And credit to, we talked about him earlier in the show. Special teams was big. Bass was fantastic. He kicked a 51-yarder. I mean, I know we were concerned going into the playoffs. He was a little shaky at times during the regular season. Dude nails a 51-yarder in that weather. 51-yarder. I was actually impressed with most of the kickers in both games today because you guys saw the Philly game. There was more snow on that ground, or more snow on the ground than at our game. And at any time when you're kicking, it's so easy to just slip on your plant foot and miss. But Tyler Bass nails the 51-yarder, and he got the other field goal as well. Sam Martin as well. He had kicked the ball 3 times, averaged 50 yards a punt. I know he got one inside the 20. And so good stuff on the special teams as well. Reggie Gilliam, we'll throw his name out there. He had a nice couple touch-push assistants. And, of course, he's used in the run game quite extensively at times as well when they go heavy package. So great stuff. Ted says, I do hate Taylor Swift. Hey, guess what? You also have Caitlin Clark now, who is, she got me back into watching women's basketball this year after what she had done in college. And she's a Chiefs fan. Chad, you got all the women that are high profile right now supporting the Chiefs. We have one, Haley Steinfeld. Josh Allen has one. I haven't seen her though. I'm surprised, Brett. Yeah. What's the scoop? Does she not go to the games? Is she like, no, I don't want to be like that? Or what do you think's going on?
She's kind of like a normal, I'm going to say this respectfully, a normal Buffalo girl. She doesn't want to be seen, in and out. I mean, that's the biggest thing. She doesn't want the glamour and everything about her. And I like that about Haley because she seems like she's true to the Buffalo area mentality. So, she just represents the city very well. And I'm glad to see that she's enjoying the game. She's enjoying seeing her fiance and Josh Allen at the games. And, she goes to Wegmans, she goes to Tops, she goes to all these different places. There's photos of her in the grocery store with fans and everything, but she's just true to herself and she's down to earth. That's the biggest thing. So she doesn't have to have the cameras on her and CBS and Tony Romo and everybody talking about her. So good for that.
The Taylor, though, I'm sure she doesn't want it either. I mean, they don't have to show her on the camera. She's there supporting her man. Where you at, Haley? You need to be there. Support her man.
I think she goes. They just don't show her.
They
don't show her at all.
They put her in a place that she can't be seen. So that's cool.
She's also not. She is famous, but she's not as famous as Taylor Swift, though.
No, she's in Josh's suite all the time. I mean, she keeps to herself. She doesn't want the attention and everything. She actually asked CBS not to be filmed.
Oh, you know that? Okay, yeah. I love it.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, that's the rumor that's going around is that she asked CBS that she doesn't want to be filmed because she doesn't want it to be about her. And I like that about her.
That's a great point. I do. That's a great point. And Chad, you are right. Caitlin Clark grew up a Casey fan in Iowa. She was on the Kelsey's podcast. I caught a little bit of that. It was a long interview with her. And there was some backstory there. Her dad, I don't know if her dad was the Chiefs fan, and that's what got her something. But anyhow, she did say that Chiefs were her team, and Travis Kelsey's one of her favorites. So I don't know if Taylor's going to get a little jealous of that, but of course, Caitlin Clark has a boyfriend. So who knows? We'll see what drama unveils as time goes on here. It won't last. Kelsey can't be with a girl more famous than him and wealthier. He's got too big an ego. Really? You think so, Brian? I don't know. We'll see. So far, he's being able to stay with it. He's actually went on her tour and helped her out as well. Got on stage with her. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, listen, guys, let's get back to this game. Great win for the Buffalo Bills. Let's just celebrate. I know I am. My poor son is waiting for the show to end so I can go take him out for dinner and help him feel a little bit better in his loss. Closing thoughts for you, Mr. Sean Kula.
Well, we're almost there. We got the final 4 to go. We're going to know who the Super Bowl for the NFC is on Saturday. This is just really exciting. We talked about preseason that maybe a 10-7 until they prove otherwise, and they've certainly proved that they were ready to step up to the challenge, and this has been an outstanding season, whether it ends next week or not. And I think these guys are in a way better position than we were in 2020. Again, just got to get to work this next week. I'm sure McDermott's already in the lab doing the film because that's what head coaches have to do. They have to waste all their time away from their family to get the wins while the players come and go whenever they need to go. But fantastic win. That was a great team we played. The better team did win, and that's another great team we played across from us, and they're going to be more matchups with Lamar and Allen in the playoffs in the future. So great win. Fantastic. Enjoy it. Back to the championship. That just sounds awesome. The AFC championship. We have a chance, one game away from the Super Bowl. Another Lamar Hunt trophy could be in our trophy case. And then we got to play, guess what? The NFC East in the Super Bowl. So if we win, we have a chance to right the wrongs of losing 4 Super Bowls to the NFC East.
Yeah, hopefully. Wow. Yeah, I knew a Philly. I was always worried about Philly making it, but now it's definitely the NFC East. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, overall, great job, offense, defense. The only thing I think was a negative was our third down defense, but again, it didn't matter. Great offensive performance, great job O-line, great job D-line. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, and Chad, I do agree with you. I mean, I like Mark Andrews, always have, good guy, and yeah, he's going to be taking some heat. Going to be taking some heat for a couple drops, of course. The turnover, he had at least 2 drops and then a turnover, of course. So yeah, feel bad for the guy, especially after that big ankle injury that he suffered or coming back last year. So truly agree with you there. Brett, closing thoughts from you, and then we'll wrap it up and get the heck out of here and go celebrate. Smash that like button. Smash it now. Everybody smash that like button. Let's go, Buffalo. Brett, what you got?
I'm going to say this right now, man. The job's not finished. Let's get it done next week. This is a good 24 hours to soak in the win and everything. But listen, you got a tough team in Kansas City next week that's going to be in Arrowhead. I'm glad that we took care of home field advantage at home. But let's finish the job out. We got 2 more games that are going to be tough. I can't wait to celebrate now, but get ready, for the film for next week as well. And talk about how the Buffalo Bills can beat the Kansas City Chiefs and some of the ways that they can exploit some of their weaknesses. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, I feel bad for your son, and going through this game and being a Baltimore Ravens fan. But hats off to the Baltimore Ravens for an excellent season that they had. 2 excellent players in Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, both going for 2,000 yards this season. So they did a wonderful job. But let's finish it off. Let's get some much needed road wins now and bring home a trophy for the city of Buffalo, because if they win, I'm going to be on a flight heading right up to Buffalo to celebrate in the city of Buffalo. I cannot wait for that if it does happen. So, and when it does happen.
Yeah, one game at a time. All right, love it. So thanks again, everyone out in the chat. Like I always say, smash that like button for us. We appreciate it. Drop a nickel, share. We can't do this without you. It makes it so much more fun, and I love the interaction we had tonight with all of you. So thanks again. Bills Mafia, go celebrate. Go celebrate. This feels good. We got the championship coming up next week. We'll get into that starting Wednesday on the Rush Hour Wednesday show. And I believe those two guys on the right. I don't know if I can get them to do
We'll
a
be back Saturday night because our game is.
You heard it. I'm glad they said it on the air. I'm holding them to it.
The championship is 3:00 Saturday and then 6 Sunday. So we'll be good for our 8:00 show Saturday.
Both games are Sunday.
Both games are Sunday?
Yeah.
Are they?
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, 3 and 6, yeah.
Yeah, 3 and 6.
So perfect. Saturday night, we'll see the Ruthless guys, and you'll see Jake and I on Wednesday. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Take care. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bills. Enjoy the wings.
Hopefully.